I'm going to cover off a very interesting topic about WooCommerce product categories, especially when you are presenting them on your website. Now, I've done many tutorials with WooCommerce, with your shop templates, and how you can add categories. But an interesting question that crops up quite a lot is, what if people want to have different category pages? Or maybe they don't even realize that they can set a different category page, for instance. I want to go through that, but I also want to share some really good practice and things that you might want to consider. And also a very neat trick which removes the need for you to create different templates for different categories. And you can show different content on those category templates as well. Believe me, this will surprise you, especially with how easy and simple it is to do. I've even been making loads of notes to make sure I stay on track with this because there is a certain routine I want to go through. I'm not going to go through how to build a loop grid, but I will touch on that because what we're going to do is start off with your product categories and making sure that you've assigned them to your products. I've got some products on screen. Now, I've given them very basic names, A1, A11. Basically, I want you to understand the parent to child relationship. So the parent is a single capital letter A and we have B. If there is a child of that parent in terms of categories, and I will make that clear, you can see some of it down here. We have A1 and we have B1. And we also have A2. So that's the capital letter and a number. If there is a child of the child, you then get a third level, which is A11. Okay, so A and B are the parents. A1, A2, B1 are the children. The grandchild product or the subcategory product or subcategory is A11. You can see the categories over there. When it comes to assigning categories, it's really simple in WooCommerce. Just go over to categories and then you will go and add in your particular categories you want. Now, I'm not using a custom post taxonomy or any custom fields here because I don't want to overcomplicate what we're going to do here, because I think that if you're doing an e-commerce website, you want to make it easy for your users to jump between different categories or different items that are part of a category list, for instance. A lot of people miss the trick of using links, but at the same time, you might want to present a different template. Believe me, this will all make sense in a moment. So this is just your categories, and you got to make sure that all of your products, you've gone and assigned them to a category. Now let's go and have a look at our product or archive template. So when you go to WordPress and templates, you will then see all of the templates you have or have not built. Make sure you click all because you might not see all of them, or just go over and click product archive. Now you're going to see 3 of them there already. I'm going to go through them each one by one. Let's start over with the shop template. Now, if you're not familiar with doing this, what you need to do is go and click add new template. Make sure you have picked products archive. If you go and click archive like that, that's more related to your post. You can kind of get away with that if you do a bit of extra work, but just go and click product archive, go and give it a name. You'll see the name I gave here was shop template. Now I'm going to edit this because I just want to show you something that I've already built rather than starting from scratch. What I have on this page, and you could use a template or go and build it out. I recommend you build out your own, because then you own it and you've done a little bit extra for the client as well, or maybe not. Now, this doesn't look exactly brilliant because I have zoomed in on my screen, so I'm just going to zoom out a bit so you can see the add to cart and the see more in line. What we have here is a hero container that just contains a heading. That heading over there just says all products. Okay, I'm keeping this really simple. The reason why I've popped a heading in there is because, again, a lot of people don't often do that. But we are going to come back to using that later on when we start to do our category template. Now, this products archive template, this is going to be where people go when they land on your shop. And I'm going to show you how you add this to a page. Again, a mistake some people overlook. They go and create it. They then create a separate shop page. You click shop and they just get a blank screen. It's really easy to utilize this. We have another container, and inside of here, we have a loop grid. And that loop grid, you would usually get a blank one, and then you would click edit template. And then inside of that template, you would go and build it out. And what you can see inside of this template is I've got a featured image. I've got the post title. I've got the post info, but I've only pulled over the terms. I just want to kind of touch base with a few things here in case any of you aren't familiar. If I go and drop in post info, you're going to get like author name, date, time, and comments. What you want to do in this example is I got rid of all of them like that, clicked on the author, and I went and then picked terms, and then I picked my product categories. If you are using custom fields, you'll have to do a little bit more. Just go and pick what you want. But I hope you're okay with this at the moment. So let me just get rid of that. So I've pulled over the terms over there. I've got my add to cart, and I've done a bit of styling, and I've got a button. This button will take you over to the post URL. So if you want to click add to cart, it adds it to the cart. In this scenario, I dropped in a button, click the dynamic tag, and then I picked post URL. So if you click that, it will then take you over to the post page. And just to prove I'm not messing around, if we go and do preview changes, you hit see more, we've gone over to the single product template. I'm not building that out here. Again, like I said, I'm not going through the minutiae of building out a loop grid, because this is more about understanding how you can get more out of your shop, linking over to your category templates, and how you can do something really funky with that so that you're not creating loads of different category templates. Okay, let's just close that down. Back over to our shop archive page. As far as products archives go, it couldn't be any simpler. There's no custom CSS or any class names added. And let me just go over a few important bits before we jump out and pop this onto a shop page, and then we start looking at the category parts of it. When you are clicking on your loop grid, you can obviously go and decide if this is going to be posts or products. Make sure you've gone and picked products there. You can see here now it's gone and messed up the order of the items. Don't worry about that. I'm going to go down to query, and I'm going to pop this into date ascending order because of the way I built it out. You can include and exclude particular products, so specific products or particular categories. So I could say over here, go and click term, and I might say, let's get rid of everything that fits into subcategory A1. You could do that if you want. You also have current query. Now, this is going to be important when we come to the category template. Okay, so bear that in mind. But for now, we're just going to go for latest products. If you only want to show featured products or sell products, you can do that. Or you can even do a manual selection as well. So you might say, I only want to show product A, B, and B1, for instance. But we're going to leave that as latest. But we are going to come back to that later on. What you also need to take into account is your display conditions. Above me over there, top right, click the chevron or the arrow head pointing down, go and click display conditions. And what you want to do is make sure that you have gone and set this maybe for your entire site. If you don't want to go for your entire site, you might only want to go and set it for a shop page as well. I'm just going to set this for my all products archive, and then I'm going to hit save and close. Now, don't assume that just because you did that, when you go to the shop page, or if you create a page called shop, it will always go that. That's not how it always likes to work. So what we're going to do is jump back out and go to our templates. And what we're going to do is copy over the shortcode we have here. Now, you don't have to copy this over, if I'm honest, okay? You don't have to do that, but I'm just going to do it in case some of you are used to copying and pasting over, but you don't need to do that. What you want to do is just make sure you've given it a reasonable name that you recognize. Shop template, it's a products archive, and it's all product archive. What I'm then going to do is go over to pages, and I've already got a page called shop over here. Notice I only have one page shop, right? Let's go to edit with Elementor. And what you should see on this page is my products archive template appear. Well, actually, this is what you may see. And I've done this intentionally on purpose because below me, you can see a message a lot of you are familiar with. Can't edit, enable safe mode. You go and enable safe mode. It says, check your PHP, check this, check that. And you do all of that. And you come back and go, I still can't edit it. If you go and copy paste the shortcode, so you open a brand new page, Elementor page, and you call it shop. And then you drop in a shortcode widget and you drop that shortcode. Remember the template bit on the template side of it? Let me remind you over here, this bit of shortcode over here. You go and do that, or you go to a blank page and you say insert template. You know, when you have the icons for, do you want to pick flex or grid, or do you want to insert a template? And then you go, I'll click that, and then I'll click shop template, and it shows it. It will show it. You'll get this. It will show that. And when you go to view, you will see the shop template you built on your shop page. And you're going to think, excellent, everything's fantastic. You go and hit publish, you come back, and then you go to your pages, which is what we have over here. If I just go to pages, you'll see it in a moment again. There we've got shop and edit with Elementor. what you're actually going to see is this: can't edit. Because that's just not how things work. I'm going to get rid of this shop page because it actually serves no function, because I went and pasted in the shortcode just to show you the problem people will come across. I'm going to create a brand new page. We're just going to call it shop and click edit with Elementor. Go to page settings, go to hide title. I'm going to go back over to my template and I'm just going to copy over what I've currently got. Now, this might feel long-winded as to what I'm doing, but believe me, if you want to have the flexibility for you or your client where you're going to go into the shop page and you actually are going to edit it on the fly, like the loop grid, whatever, you can do. If you want to just stick to doing it on the template from a control point of view, that is also probably a better way to do it. But I'm just letting you know to kind of stop yourself getting that really annoying enable edit mode and all of that, especially if your client's looking after the website. Let's be honest here. How many clients are going to remember to go into templates? They're just going to see the word shop and go edit with Elementor, and then you're going to get a stream of emails saying it's not working, even though it is working. Anyway, this is your shop page, right? So this is your products archive, and I'm really sorry that it's taken so long to get to this point. And we haven't even touched the juicy bits at the moment with the category. So I really want you to understand. Now, here's the reason why you need to do a category page. I'm going to go and hit preview changes. So this is my shop page. We also have these category links over here. I should point out that when I was building this out, and obviously I picked the terms inside of the post info widget, down here it says link. If I click that, it now makes it linkable. What was the point of that? Well, if I was to go over to sometimes my words come out wrong, subcategory A1, there are two items that sit within there. And you can see here, category A does not sit within subcategory A1. But A1 and A11 do sit within subcategory A1 because this is a child of that. Now, here's the problem, and I'm going to show you how you get around it with why you want to be using category templates. Look at all of the items we have here, A, A1, A11, A2, B, and B1. When I click subcategory A1, and you may or may not notice a bit of movement there, I'll click it again. You can see the buttons because the page is reloading quite quick, to be honest. This is meant to only show me A1 and A11, but I'm still seeing all the Bs, A2, and even the parent A. Why has it not filtered down? And you might go, oh, because you're not using a taxonomy filter. Yeah, I know. But what if you don't want to use a taxonomy filter and you want to have clickable links? Maybe you've got loads of items. So you've got like a hat, and then down here you got a link or a category link that says hat. Someone clicks it. They don't want to be seeing shoes if they went into the category for hats. The problem is that we haven't set a category template. And believe me, we're going to go further than that, okay? Think of this in 3 stages. Product category, category template, and then specific category template. Believe me, that will blow your mind, okay? So what we need to do is set a category template. And if anyone is still a little bit confused, if I just go over it and hover, can you see here it says category A, which is the parent, subcategory A1. So the URL for this has done exactly what I wanted it to do, where it's clicked it, but I'm still seeing all the items. In fact, if I was to go and click subcategory A111, I should only see one item, because only one item sits in there, but I'm still seeing all 6. So let's go and rectify that. What we need to do is go back over to our templates, and I've already built it out, so I'm going to go over to my products archive, and you will see their category template. This is an exact copy of what I got here. Don't hit duplicate this, all right? People, again, make this mistake, because when you do that, it does not assign the type. And it's a pain in the ass when you realize you went and duplicated it and now you got to rebuild it. What you want to do is go and click add new product category, give it a name like category template or product categories template. And then similar to what I did with the shop page, what you're going to do is copy over the header and copy over the loop grid container as well. So if I go to category template and I go to edit with Elementor, when you look at the structure of the category template, it's practically the same. Okay, we have the hero container with the heading, but now I've also dropped in a button with a return to shop. And again, I'll show you another way of how we can get around that. Maybe you don't want to have return to shop because we can use breadcrumbs. But stay with me on this, okay? This is the product categories masterclass we're going through. And then I've got a copy of the other container from the shop page, products on sale loop grid. You don't have to build out the loop grid again. You're just copying it over. So you're not completely duplicating effort. But the big change is what we do with the query. Before we were using latest products, now we're going to use the current query. Because the idea is that when we're on the shop, which is all products, and you click one of these category links, I want to go to the category template, and it will know it's got to do that because we're going to set the display conditions in a moment, and it uses the current query. So if I go and hit down here, we have got subcategory A2. That is the current query. It passes it through so that when we get to the category template, it won't show me 6. It should only show me 1. Or with subcategory A1, I should only have seen these 2 items because this is subcategory A1 and this is a child of subcategory A1. Now you will notice over here custom order. That is something extra, and I shared this a while ago, but I'm going to remove it for now and just show you what will happen. So even though this says custom query, can you see the order is completely messed up at the moment? We've got B1B, A2, A11, A1, and A. It's all gone in the wrong order. You could argue, well, it's in descending order, but sometimes when you do current query, it won't even be in date order. And there is no feature over here for you to say date ascending, date descending, name A to Z, and all of that. It's not there. With a code snippet, you can enable that. So we will come back to add in custom order later on. But first, let me show you the problem and then how we quickly rectify it. So let's go and hit publish. And then we're going to be asked, well, where do you want this to be displayed? We're going to click add condition, but we are not going to go for all product archive because our shop already does that. So what we're instead going to do is say product categories. Now you can be particular, and I'm going to come back to touch on this in a moment, okay? But we're going to leave it as product categories all, and we're going to hit save and close. I've now gone back to my shop page. I haven't built a separate category page. Again, I've seen people where they say, oh, I've got an e-commerce website, and they've got like 20 category pages all built out, and there's nothing different about them, except they just kept duplicating the same loop grid over and over again and setting their query again and again and again. And it just makes it such a mess when you come to administrating everything. We only have the shop or the products archive template, and we have a categories template, but we only have one shop page. I really want to stress on that. Now, if I click subcategory A1, I should only see 2 items. Well, I click it, and that's exactly what I get. There was movement because we now have this button appear as well, which is return to shop. I should have pointed out that this is a button where the URL for this is set to go back to shops. Look, you click shop, you go back to the shop. If I go and click, say, A2 and I click subcategory A2, for instance, I only see 1 item. So products archive, and we've got our category template as well. You hit return to shop, you go back to shop. Obviously, though, if you have got a taxonomy filter, that could do what I've done for you as well. But what if you don't want to have a filter and you're going to kind of hopefully expect people to go and click items like that? It's all down to user experience and how you want to design your shop. Now, at the moment, this all looks pretty okay. But imagine you've got about 20 items that sit in subcategory A1. This is where the current query is not always good for you because things might not be in name order, date order, or anything, and it can get quite messy. So what you want to do is go and drop in a code snippet. A link for that will be in the video description. I recommend that you use the free code snippets plugin that you can get from the WordPress repository. You click add new snippet and you go and drop this in. You only need to change this if you want all of your items whenever you do a current query loop grid to be in a particular order. So I've said order by date and I want the order to be ascending. I have put a couple of extra options, so menu order or maybe title. Then you would just have order, well, you would just pop in the word title. So I've shown you what you need to replace. Sorry, let me make this clear. You replace that with this, all right? You could have multiple ones in, so you could order it by title and then by date or whatever you want to go for. Just bear in mind, though, over here that it says custom order. So whatever you call it here, you copy that, go over to your category template. Remember, this is all being done in the template. Underneath source, you have query ID. And watch what happens as soon as I paste that. Everything now is in date ascending order based on the date or the time when I went and built it. And I did intentionally build it in a particular order so things flowed this way. Believe me, controlling the ordering can make a lot of difference as to how your items look. Now, there is one thing I forgot to mention. If I click subcategory A1, look at what happens over here where it says all products. I click it and it will now say A1, okay? It doesn't have the full name because it's just going to pull over the name I put when I went and did my products category. So how have I got that to change? Over here inside of the products category template, okay, if I click on my heading, it actually says post title. So when we're in the shop, I just went and wrote all products. Over here, though, I've dropped in a heading widget. Well, it's actually the same widget as what I had before. Click on the dynamic tag and then pick post title. You can, if you want, scroll down and pick product title. It ain't going to make any difference, right? Trust me. So that will now always pull over. So if you go to category A11, it will then say A11. What if, though, you wanted a different look? So we know this works okay, and we know it's pulling everything over fine and all of that. But what if you wanted a slightly different look or different wording or different description? So when you go to hats, you want a bit of text that says this is all about hats, and you maybe might want an image or you might want a video playing as well. Now, I'm not going to touch custom fields and all of that because I want to show you a simple way of doing it that lets you be dynamic in the Imran Siddiq Web Squadron way. There is no such way, but there is a way, and we're going to do it my way. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to create another products archive template. So that's why we have three. You got your products archive, you got your category template, and then I'm going to have category specific or display template. So this is now where I'm going to be a bit more specific. But before we do that, I'm going to go over to my top right chevron thing in the corner, go to display condition, and I'm going to get rid of this because I'm going to create a different version, and that is the one I will be using for products category. Now, if you weren't going to have like a different look to your category pages when you move between them, you would leave that set as product categories, okay? But my intention is to have different wording appear. Believe me, you're really going to love this. Seriously, if you don't love it, let me know in the comments, but you will love it. That's why I'm going to create a brand new one. So that's why I've removed it from here. So this is now going to become redundant. I needed to cover it off so you understood what it does and how it can help you out. But this is now redundant. I'm then going to create another template, which is actually a copy of this. So what you would do is you would copy over the hero container and the loop grid container. And that's exactly what I did in my templates. There you can see categories, details, template. Let me go and click edit with Elementor. Remember, you're just copying over the containers. You do all the hard work once in the products archive. You then create a brand new template and you just go copy paste kind of thing. All right. Do not duplicate because it won't always work for you. And here we go. This is a little bit different to our categories template and our product one. Remember, everything's sat in a column of 3. Here we have a column of 2. Let me just quickly go over the structure. We have our hero container at the top. That only has the heading widget now. I've removed the return to shop button. You can actually see it over there. That is still set to be post title. We then have our second container. By the way, they are boxed 1,200 in width. Go and adjust it for your mobile, your paddings and all of that. Do what you want with it. Inside of here, we have our loop grid and we have a child container. The parent container is set to be a row. There's no wrap going on. The loop grid is set to be 2 columns. Adjust it for the mobile, obviously. It's still using the same template. All I've done is change the columns from 3 to 2. And I've set my width to be 65.8. The child container, which sits side by side, is set to be 30%. 65.8 plus 30% comes to 95.8. What about the other 4.2% that I've not accounted for? Well, I'm not bothered because my parent container is set to be space between. So I get a little bit of natural gap. I don't have to start messing around, all right? It's okay for things not to add up to 100%. When you're using something like space between. Now inside of this container, and this is where it gets really funky, we're using the WooCommerce Breadcrumb. So that is a widget that you will have inside of here. Just go and type in bread and you will have it. You drop it in. This particular widget, if I go over, you can style it in terms of text, color and all of that. That is going to give you the links to move around the shop. Now, there is a problem with this, and you can see on screen, it says home category details template. Okay, that's because it says that because we're not viewing it on live, but the word home is going to be an issue. And I will discuss that later on and how you can help yourself out and get around that problem. Seriously, I have tried to think of as much as possible for this particular product category masterclass. Right. Then I've got a text editor. Notice inside of here, we've got some text. It says this is about product category A. This is about product category A. This is about product category A. Okay, you can't see it for some bizarre reason. We're going to come back onto that in a moment. I then have an image, and this image shows a category image. Again, though, you can't see the image. Why not? I will come back onto that. And for anyone that's going, what the heck is a category image? Well, you can pick that, right? So when you drop in an image widget, as per what you can see now, if I go and click dynamic tag, I'm going to scroll down and pick category image. So there is a category image, and it is, well, you will see it on the view when it gets pulled through. For anyone that's not sure what is a category image, because I did say I'm not using custom fields, if you go to products and you go to categories, I added in an image, but I only did it for category A just to show you how things work. I've intentionally only done it here. Just to let you know how it would work, let's just go to category B. Let's go and hit edit. Down here, I can go and now add in a thumbnail for my particular category. So for the sake of it, I'm just going to go and pick that image over there. So that image is assigned for that category. So when you pull over category image, well, that's what it's pulling over. You're not having to use custom fields or anything like that. I've got another text editor, which you can't actually see on screen. And this will all make sense. Stay with me on this, all right? This is about product category A11. This is about product category A11. I've only repeated it so you don't get confused with what this is. The idea is that you could drop loads of text editors into here. So you may want to say different things about hats, about scarves, about particular categories. You could even drop in different images as well. So you might want to show images. The beauty is about how we're going to control what is visible based on what category you come to view. This is how brilliant this bit of code I'm going to share with you is. Let's go over to the first text editor and let's go to the advanced tab. This has show-a. I've tried to keep it simple, so this is going to show that particular one. Let's go to this particular image over here. This does not have a class name because it will only display for category A. And obviously we got an image for category B. So if you click a link, and it goes to subcategory A1, there's no image to show and it won't display anything. And if we go to text editor, if we go to the advanced tab, this is show A11. Now, when we go to the child container that holds all of this, there is no class name added. But if you go to custom CSS, there is a bit of CSS there for you. This is setting any item that I've assigned a class name like show A and show A11 to be display none. Now, there is a way where you can set anything that begins with the word show in terms of class name to be display none, but I found this worked a little bit better for me. If you want to improve the code, be my guest and go and stick it in the comments down below. Now, here's what happens. This is going to say that when the category that you've gone on, when the category you go to is category A or term category A, then show A becomes displayed. And if you go to category A11, again, it will be displayed. Now, if you've got 20 categories, you'll have to do this for each one. And you might go, oh, I don't want to do that. But if you think about the fact that I've created one product categories template, forget the other one I did, because I've now said that's not going to be displayed. If you create this particular look, are you going to create different wording and different image or a different video or something appears? Because you could put up a video in here, but it won't be displayed until you have now said it can be shown when the URL contains category A or category A11. And notice how this works. This is based on your URL. This is a funky bit of code, okay? The idea is that when you click a link, your URL changes. So if you've got hats, your URL will probably say something hats, right? This will pick it up. Play around with it. If you're unsure, stick it into ChatGPT and say, well, this is what my category is and this is the URL. What do I need to change? It's really simple what I'm showing you here. So this will only display the text based on the URL. So let's go and test this out. Let's go and hit the chevron at the top. And now we're going to add in our container. You could hit the chevron or you could hit publish. This is not going to be for products archive because that is our shop. And instead, this is going to be for products category. Remember, though, if you wanted to set up a bespoke page for every category, you could have gone over here. You could have gone for product category. And then you might say, well, this page will be the page that we are going to have for, say, subcategory A2 or subcategory B, for instance. And then you'll have a particular look for category B. But then what if you want a different set of words to appear for category A? Then you go and create another template and another template and another template. And it can get really, really messy. What I've done is, let me just get rid of that, add condition, product category, is I'm being dynamic with a little bit of code. We are now going to hit save and close. I've now gone back to my shop page. We're not inside of edit with Elementor. We're now viewing the shop page as it is. Again, like I said, you can click on any link and it's going to take you to the single product template. Now, when I click category A, I should see 4 products, A1, A11, and A2. I should not see B or B2. I should also not have a 3-column approach for my grid. It should revert to the 2-column because that's what we've just done. I should also have a container on the right-hand side, which is going to display some text and an image. Remember, we set the category image for A. We set the image, and I also had some text for A. I didn't do it for A1. I did it for A11, but I didn't do it for A2. So let me show you. Let me click category A. We now have our alternate version, and we've got A over there. You would refine what you show there before and after and extra words. You can do that. But over here, it says this is about product category A, and we've got our image. We've got our return to shop. It will take us back to the shop, which it has done. Category A, we go over there. It's pretty quick. And look, we're not seeing B or B1 at all. Now, let me just make a point. If I click subcategory A1, there should be no image and there should be no text, right? Because we did not set it. Let me click it. Look at that. The text is gone, as has the image. And we only see 2 items because they fit within there. Let me just go back to shop, okay, just to make sure I'm not cheating. Let me go and hit subcategory A2. We get 1 item, no text, no image. Let's return to the shop. Now let me go to subcategory A11. We get the text. Remember, we added it in. We get 1 item. Correct, there should only be 1 item, but there is no image because we never set the extra image or extra things to appear. Can you see how dynamic this could be for your product category template? Products archive template, where we did the hard work. The categories template, or the specific one I'm building here, is a copy of that. I just changed a few things around, but it's still using the same template. It's just the loop grid is set differently. Now, let me just make a point. If I go to category B over here, you will now see the image. Do you remember I set this image up over there? You got the title and you see 2 images. If I went to subcategory B1, you're not going to get the image. But throughout this process, there has been a single problem. Let me show you if I just go over to category A again. Return to shop. What if you don't want a return to shop button and you actually want to use what's up here? In fact, let me just go to subcategory A11, okay? So we've got some links at the top now. If I go and click category A, it goes to category A. Fantastic. I'm just going to go back to A11 because it's got the most of the breadcrumbs. If I go to subcategory A1, it goes to that particular category. Again, everything is cool. But notice here the word home. You click home and it's gone over to my fake homepage. This is just one of my dummy home pages where I have stuff dumped onto here, right? It's not a proper homepage. That's gone to the homepage, not the shop. So that's why I added the return to shop button. But what if you don't want the button? Okay, that is going to break your user experience. I mean, that is a real pain in the ass. Here's something you can do to help yourself out. We're going to go back over to WordPress and go to our code snippets. And the code that you will paste in is this. And what it does is it converts the word home to become shop. If you want to call it something else like boudoir or parlor or whatever you want, you can do that as well. And what it will also do is set where does the word shop go to. So here I've now popped in my URL for the shop. So go and pop in the correct URL for your shop. Don't just point mine, because that's the current page now. But by the time you watch this in 4 months' time, that shop page has probably been deleted because it's my dummy test website. So save changes, right? Let's go back over to our shop page. If I click this link over here, we only see one item. Imagine there's 50 other items. That the top now says shop and not home. And if I click it, it actually goes to the shop page. So you're not breaking the user experience. Now, this has been quite a long products category masterclass. You know, this is probably the length of many WooCommerce tutorials out there. But I wanted you to kind of understand a little bit better how you can control the user experience and movement from your shop page to a category page. And it might be that, you know, it could be a link. It could be, I mean, look, you could go over to a particular product, right? So let's go into this one over here. Can you now see? In fact, no, let's go back over to shop. Let's go to this particular item, A11. Can you now see we have our breadcrumbs over there? That one code snippet passes through wherever you use breadcrumb, right? You don't have to give it a class name. So now you've always got the shop. Before you'd have home, which would take you over to your home page. But if a user was to now go and click, say, subcategory A1 from the single product template page, it will now take them to the product category template rather than to another page. So if you want to say something specific, like maybe you want to drop in an extra upsell, or maybe you want to add in a particular review or a particular image of someone wearing something because you really want to drum it over to the user that, hey, you want to get this, you're going to miss out on something, or maybe a special coupon code. It's quite endless what you can do here. I hope that you have found this super useful. Please tell me what you think. Stick it in the comments below. I'm Imran from Web Squadron. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you like, subscribe, share, and follow. I'll see you soon.